Hello everyone, my name is Ozzy Hornet. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. Yes, I shaved my face, but that is not important. Anyways, we are going to be finishing up Turnabout Big Top. Let's get to it. Good morning, Max.
Oh, yeah. Good morning.
You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today.
I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up to it.
Teehee. Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk. Regina!
How fabulous!
We just started, Max. Come on.
You came to watch my performance today?
Of course I did. Bo told me that I should come and watch this. Bo said that? So what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess, you'll fly at the end?
It's not that kind of show, isn't that right?
Huh?
I think, she doesn't.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to realize what's going on, or even where she is. Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today I'm just a member of the audience.
Fabulous. Enjoy yourself out there.
Good luck, Max. You're the best. Regina's different, don't you think? Top of the morning to you! Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo. How low can you go? Mo? Top of the morning to you, governor! Top of the morning? That's the ticket. Attack in the day starts with energy in the morning. The early bird gets the worm. But then again, worms like how your brain function. Here, Max, I bought you a present. Have some milk.
Oh, my. Thanks.
How are you today, Wright? Well, I've got the feeling that today I'm going to face off against the real culprit. You mean Acro?
Huh? You think he did it?
Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line, literally. He's got guts to spare. All I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is. I'm used to it already. It just means that I won't be able to press him like I can the other witness.
What are you gonna do then, Nick?
I guess today we'll just have to do without our usual psychological warfare. Today we rely on evidence. It's the only way we'll get past Acro into the truth.
You're right.
And it's gonna be tough. Anyways, I want you to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father. You want us to make sure Regina watches? Yes, that's why I brought her here to court today.
What's that supposed to mean?
She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars. Let's get down to business.
Court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Very well, Miss Von Comma, you may proceed with your case.
The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events.
What's the meaning of this?
We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say, a new eyewitness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime. Okay, so she said that it was ridiculous last time, now she's saying it happened. Francisco, come on. Order.
I had a feeling something like this would come up.
Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation the prosecution will present if the need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders. Poor gumshoe.
Very well, please call your witness to the stand.
Time to get to work, or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. Alright. Oh, you got the birds in court? Name and occupation. Ken Dingling, but everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the Very Big Circus. Where were you at the night of the crime? I was in my room that night. Look at the map. You will see the witness room is near the crime scene. My room is on the third floor. The crime scene is below my window. The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Will you tell us what you witnessed? Okay. Do we get to cross-examine his birds as well? It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Then a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactico. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. This witness testimony matches up exactly with that of the clown. If that's the case, there is very little the prosecution need add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night. Hold it! Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix, right? Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did. Don't you dare bring up that name! Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony? In the words of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened. Very well. You may proceed with your cross-examination. I mean, come on. Max told me himself that he can't fly. Hold it! You said that you were resting in bed? One would thus assume that you turned the lights off in your room, correct? That's correct. But there are safety lights around the outside of the lodging house. It's so bright, sometimes it can make it hard to sleep. If that's the case, wouldn't it be a good idea to close some curtains? I never really thought of that. I guess that means I'm off to buy some curtains. Sometimes I do make myself useful in these chambers. Oh! The witness will proceed with his testimony. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Hold it! Your room is on the 3rd floor, right? Yes. And you said that you were resting in bed. That is correct. But you were still able to hear a sound from outside? Oh, yes, indeed. Pressing accurate doesn't seem to get results. Maybe something was contradictory in what he said just now. What's the matter, right, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. Until I can find a clear contradiction, I should tread lightly. Then a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. Hold it! Are you sure it was a human being? It could have been a mannequin, or perhaps a large action figure. Well, setting aside the possibility of a mannequin, an action figure is plausible. There's no need to mince words with Mr. Phoenix, right? Testify to the truth and only the truth, just as if we were there with you that night. I believe it was a human. Damn, I just strengthened his testimony. I wonder if accurate statement jives with the facts. What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. I'd like to find a clear contradiction. I should tread lightly. It was Max Galactico. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. Hold it! The light in your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So, with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window? Safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Did you see any of the other symbols? I clearly saw the silk hat, as well as the cloak wrapped around his body. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactico. The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. Or maybe there was something fishy with his latest testimony. He said he saw the silk hat, right? It was found at the crime scene. There is a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. Objection! There is a contradiction, then prove it with evidence.
She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of a contradiction?
Take that! You claim to have seen the exact same thing most saw that night. Do you stand by that?
What do you mean?
The silk hat.
What about the silk hat?
I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night.
That would have been quite difficult considering the state that I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was a tough enough challenge for me.
That's a shame, because you would have noticed the silk hat found on the scene.
That's the ringmaster's hat, right?
Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat.
Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has 2 silk hats?
No, Your Honor. This is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactica. Which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing on the stand.
Order.
Objection!
As always, it looks like someone just had to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth, and now I have to back it up.
How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today?
Has a grudge against Max? It doesn't look like it. I don't think he was dreaming. I think he could be the real culprit. Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself.
On this occasion? Accuse Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of?
Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry.
Mr. Wright, are you serious?
Deadly serious, Your Honor. I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try and grab at an audience's hearts and mind. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book.
Really?
If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He's calm enough for it to almost be scary. He's staying rather calm and collected.
Mr. Dingling, do you have any response to the defense's accusation?
I don't really need to say a thing, do I?
What do you mean?
Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house.
But that's true.
I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things? Even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous. He's right, way to pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man. Phoenix is a poopy head. See that, Mr. Phoenix, right? They're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery. That's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got to duck this note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well. I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice.
What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice?
I don't think he did. I think he did it by himself. Well done. This must be where we get to hear the name of the mystery accomplice. Not this time, Von Karma. What? You're not going to sucker me into this one.
What are you bubbling about, Mr. Wright?
There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself.
Order? What are you getting at?
I'm gonna keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm gonna have to prove how it all fits together. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. Alright, then let's do it. Mr. Phoenix Wright. If this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right?
Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When a crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dingling?
He would be in his room, wouldn't he?
Take that!
He was obviously here the entire time.
That's Acro's room?
Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can be only one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster. What? Are you nuts?
What say you, Mr. Dingling?
It's an interesting theory. That's it. Considering that what you propose is impossible, yes, that's it.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor?
As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there is no way he could go to the scene or be the killer.
You've got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Mo said that he saw Max, didn't he? But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright?
What is it?
I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet. Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here... She's right. I can't mess up here. I've got to give this one some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster. And he did it while he was in his room. No doubt about it.
Time to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, Mr. Wright.
I'm going to present some evidence.
So what did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of murder against Russell Berry?
Could it be the bust?
Take that!
What's that? A picture?
It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture.
The bust?
It's quite a large bust, and because it is life-size, it is also very, very heavy. Heavy? Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. Oh! See, this is how Acro was able to kill the ringmaster. With the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust.
Order! So you're saying the bust fell onto the ringmaster?
A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit.
Objection!
How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible.
Objection!
Well, Acro is an acrobat. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like the bust.
Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges?
Well, Acro's at a loss for words. He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, Acro. You can't run away from things that— Ow! I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? What? Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself.
Testimony, you say?
But karma. He's just using this testimony as a ruse to stall for time.
Objection!
There's absolutely no need for such testimony.
Objection!
The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond.
The defense's objection is overruled.
Why can't he see things my way once in a while?
Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony.
The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him.
Thank you.
A woman will sink to any lure to win a case. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That may
makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Plus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bus on him, don't you think? I have no doubts in regards to this witness's testimony. It was impossible for him to lift the bus and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries. That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright? I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination. He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really. Ugh, can't let it get to me. I've got to focus.
Hold it!
Have you ever lifted up the bus before? No, I've never actually lifted it up with my own two hands. But I should get to it. Don't you think? I can't let money outdo me on this. Money? That crazy monkey has lifted Max's bus before? Please continue with your testimony, Mr. Dingling. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured.
Hold it!
So what have you been doing to keep in shape? Well, honestly, I've given up on training. I don't have any plans to return to the trapeze or the tightrope. You don't say. But no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or anything. You know my Mr. Phoenix, right? One was either Slowpoke, Nick. Whoa, whoa, whoa! How did the discussion turn to me all of a sudden? I suppose you could say that I'm stronger than the average bear. However, lifting the bus and looking out of the window would have been impossible.
Hold it!
And why is that? Because if I were to do that, I'd end up falling out the window myself. I still haven't gotten much feeling back in my legs yet. So you couldn't have thrown that bus out of the window? There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body.
Hold it!
How long do you think your recovery will take? You have to remember that my nerves were severely damaged. Currently undergoing some extremely intensive rehabilitation. But it's still going to take a while before I'm back to 100%. I remind you of another very important point. If the witness was carrying the bus, he would not be able to see out below the window. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head.
Hold it!
Why do you say it would be impossible? Allow me to explain. You accepted that if I was carrying the bus, I couldn't see out below the window. Thus, there was no way that I would know the location of the ringmaster's head. Well, I suppose you got a point. Hey, Nick? Huh? What if you turn things around? Maybe if you think of it sort of like this. If you knew the location of the ringmaster's head, then he could drop the bust. That does make sense. Only I could prove somehow. The hacker knew the location of the ringmaster's head without looking down. I think I've already explained things sufficiently. He would have known because he was hunched on the wooden box.
Objection!
Acro, you didn't really need to lean out of the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add.
Objection!
Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Phoenix, right? Enough stalling, how about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job hinting. Yes, hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe you should take a look at this. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box the victim was hunched over? The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here? Who? When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. Which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bus came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean, if the bus were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, there would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim? No. Order. This is unbelievable. Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going. There's only one way to go from here. Forward. So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene? It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow! Allow me to whip some sense into you. Mr. Phoenix, right? Ow! The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was so specially made. So specially made? Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. The box has a remarkable weight. Wait. According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift this wooden box would have required... Oh, I see. One would have to squat down and lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large. The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it? That is correct. To lift up the box, you'd have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be approximately the same place. Fool! He's still happy. Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you had to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you do it? Did you place this wooden box in the plaza? Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust? Of course I remember. It was on the top of the table in the cafeteria. And what happened to it? I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. That means... You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bus from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bus from the cafeteria to my room? You see, Mr. Phoenix, right? Explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. Ugh! Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bus from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here. This is no place to get perplexed. I'm gonna get my wits about me and prove how things happen once and for all. Alright, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bus from the cafeteria back to his room? It was money.
Take that!
A monkey? Everyone knows money. He loves shiny objects of any size. Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist's ring? So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home. Home? Money lives in Akro's room. Akro's room?
Objection!
The bus was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny.
Objection!
Look at the photo. Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record. My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Gah! Akro. Money is a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bus back to your room. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. So he did steal the bust. Order! I said order! Miss Von Karma! Where is the bus in the question at this moment? I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. This is a rather strange turn of events. Well, let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then? Well, in that event, something else would have been used as the murder weapon. Wait. Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon purely by accident? It's possible. Maybe Akira saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Akira was the murderer. Moron! Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There is no denying that. Ow! Don't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix, right? And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. Ah! There's no reason to doubt the clown's testimony. But that's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright? Hey, don't let her beat you now. I won't. It's my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix, Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw?
Take that!
He saw Max's butt. Ow! I asked who was the other person Mo saw on the scene. The evidence has nothing to do with the question.
Objection!
Au contraire, mon frère, it does indeed have something to do with that question. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. Oh, I got it. How is that possible? It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust.
Objection!
What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak.
Objection!
There's no reason why he couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. It would be easy to hang one of the cards in the bust's hands. Idiot, who in the right mind would put a cloak in the bust? Doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? My question is of the utmost importance to this case, don't you agree? So, he got me. So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? Would it be Russell?
Take that!
The fool? Him? You were saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry? That's what I'm saying. I mean, the victim himself placed the cloak on the bust? Place the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Or what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain yourself! Nick, do you really have a handle on all of this? I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really one picture I can paint anyways. Alright. So you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Akira used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached that rope to the bust, and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room, and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet, Ventrilo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Akira took his chance and released the rope. Now this is when the magic happens. At the very instant that the bust hit the victim, wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix, right? As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just isn't true. It can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet. What?
impacted the bust of the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged onto the bust. That impact also caused a sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Mo Curls, the clown. When Mo looked out of his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Akra naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Mo saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it. Primarily because, in his wheelchair, he couldn't see out of his window. So he just kept pulling the bust up. And that's what made it raise up. And that is how the magical murderer disappearing into the sky came to be. So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Akra, it could only have been you. And he doesn't seem too fazed by it. Akra's been playing mind games with all of us. Sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now. So, what now? You graced us with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Evidence? In this court, only two things matter. The power of evidence and the power of my wit. Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. The prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? They say they wanted evidence. I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. But there's still something unusual about Mo's eyewitness account. Unusual? Contradiction, actually. Okay then, he's down and get out of this jam. That's enough talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case.
Take that!
Oh, it's the problem is Max's three symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Yesterday, there were two contradictions in Mo's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other. But the theory I just presented explains all of these contradictions. You fool! Do you ever shut up? Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday? He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bus. Oh, we got there. Makes sense. If you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of.
Objection!
Fine, you've got one. But what about the other contradiction?
The other contradiction?
Remember what that ventriloquist said in court? He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. But the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said there's no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick? Of course, I can explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the instant when the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? Oh, it's in the cloak as well. Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Which explains why Mo didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. Yes. Order, order!
This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads.
Let's do this, Nick. And maybe Von Karma will finally throw in the towel. I don't think so yet. And Akra is still unfazed. Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? You took the time to research our circuits, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. This witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Oh, he doesn't have a motive. Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Acro deeply respected the ringmaster. Acro's motive.
It seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel this is a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingley's testimony after recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess.
Okay, we're getting there. But we just need a motive.
I can't believe it. Acro?
It's pretty shocking, isn't it?
It definitely is. And to think he was always the most straightforward of the group. Jesus, am I that hated?
Acro tried to pin the murder on you on purpose.
He did. Psst. but I'm nothing but a little old nobody, you know?
But you're not, which is kind of the reason why...
Hey! Hurt Paul! You're gonna ignore me after I went all this trouble to bring you some evidence?
Detective Gumshoe.
Forget it. I'm going home. This guy deserves to be guilty anyways.
Yeah, I agree. Now, detective, I'm sorry. Look, why don't you relax a little? You got some really tasty milk. How about a card trick, detective? Oh, that was Max talking, sorry.
Well, if you insist.
About that evidence you mentioned? What is it?
Here you go.
Huh? This was yesterday in Acro's room.
Yep, and I've included the forensic results. Take a look at it later.
Won't Miss Von Karma be bad that you're doing this?
That's why this is all a secret.
Huh?
Look, details are on a need-to-know basis. We're not really allies or anything. But everything that happened in court up until now has gone according to our plan.
I don't know, Miss Von Karma didn't seem in control of things in there just now.
We'll figure it out eventually, pal. Yesterday, our final plans were set in motion.
Final plans?
That reminds me. I've got a message from the prosecutor for you. Nothing is ever truly decided until the very end. That's it. That's it for me too, pal. I'm out of here.
Bye, Gumshoe. What did he mean by that? The very end part? Not sure. It was all pretty cryptic to me.
Oh, one more thing.
Don't scare me like that.
It looks like there's a large care package from the circus for the defendant.
What? For me?
It's milk. The reception area looks like some kind of dairy. Hurry up and drink it all before it spoils.
An entire dairy's worth of milk? For me?
Court is now back in session. Miss Von Karma, please continue where you left off.
I'd like to continue with Acro's testimony, starting with his relationship to the victim. I'd also like to get proof from the defense. Proof of what kind of motive Acro would have kept to commit this crime.
Understood. Now, Mr. Dingling.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please proceed with your testimony.
Finally, we got to the motive. Wait, Nick, are you okay? Just do me a favor and don't ask questions you don't want to answer to. When we were little, we were abandoned by our parents. That's when the ringmaster of the Russell Berry Big Circus, Russell Berry, took us in. I became an acrobat at around 9 years old. I wanted to find a way to repay the ringmaster. That was my sole purpose in life.
You're such a thoughtful young man.
As you heard, the witness deeply respected the victim. I wonder how anyone could think that Acro would kill the man he held in such esteem.
You're absolutely right. How could anyone think that, Mr. Wright? Which is why there's no real need for a cross-examination, is there?
Actually, that's the question I'm trying to answer myself. Why would Acro kill the ringmaster? There's
This might be my last chance to answer the question. It doesn't look like there's any motive. There's no need to cross-examine this witness. What's that? Why was the ringmaster murdered? There's no need to delve into that bit of testimony when I know the answer already. Mr. Wright, I'd like to ask you a question. Go ahead, Your Honor. I would just like to know, can you provide an explanation as to why Acro would want the ringmaster dead? Nick? Yeah, I didn't even have to think about it. It was obvious from the start. Your Honor, the reason that Acro killed the ringmaster is something that can't be proven. What? That's because Acro had no reason to kill the ringmaster at all. Ow! Your foolish attempts to fool us like foolish fools is so full-heartedly foolish. Did you forget you made an accusation against this witness, did you not? I believe it was, this is the real killer Russell Berry, ringmaster. If you want to jump to the end of things, then yes, that sounds about right. Kill the freeze? Acro. You didn't plan to kill the ringmaster at all, did you? The ringmaster wasn't your target that night. Oh, I know it now. What did you just say? I'm saying that the target of this witness murderous plot was not the ringmaster. Oh, I know who it is. Because it was never his intention to kill Russell Berry to begin with. What? Order. Bailiff, I don't care who it is. Smack anyone who's loud in the face. Twice if you must. Mr. Wright, what in the world are you trying to do to my court? Oh! Mr. Phoenix Wright, what in the world are you trying to do to his court? Are you attempting to imply that Acro was trying to kill someone else? Yes, he was trying to kill Regina.
Take that!
Regina Berry? This young girl is the ringmaster's daughter, correct? Acro, you were really aiming for her that night, weren't you?
Objection!
You don't need to answer that. It's a mean-spirit-leading question.
Objection!
You could easily answer this question. If I'm wrong, all he has to say is you're wrong. That's it. That's it? Huh, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Enough. Mr. Wright, allow me to... Oh! The only thing allowed to interrupt me is death itself. Oh? And that goes for you too, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Show me evidence. No. I want to know why Acro would want to kill Regina Berry. Yes, me too. I demand to see some proof. Present evidence that proves Acro was out to kill this young girl.
Take that!
Oh, that's the note. I forgot about the note. Acro, you remember this, don't you? It's a piece of paper that was found inside the ringmaster's tailcoat. Inside the victim's tailcoat? Acro wrote this note. It's ironically entitled, To the Murderer. Its purpose was to call someone to the plaza at 10 p.m. Wait, so you're saying that he called Russell Berry with that note? Yes, but there's just one little problem. Problem? Acro did indeed place this note into someone's pocket. However, that someone was not the ringmaster. You mean it wasn't for the... That's exactly what I mean. The person this note was intended for was none other than Regina Berry. Order. Mr. Wright, this little theory of yours. It's the truth, Your Honor. It isn't a theory. Simply put, Regina didn't think the note was meant for her, which is why, the morning of the crime, she placed it on the cafeteria bulletin board. That's when her father, the ringmaster saw the note? That's correct. The ringmaster ended up in the plaza instead of Regina. And he was killed because of that mistake, instead of Regina. That's incredible. Remember the testimony that Acro gave us earlier today? Pushing the bus and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force in my lower body. If I were to do that, I'll end up falling out the window myself.
Acker had no idea who it was that arrived in the plaza, because he couldn't look down out of his window to see who it actually was. I got it! Acker thought it was Regina down in the plaza. And that's when he let the bus fly. Hey, Nick, isn't Regina listening to all of this from the audience? She is. Unfortunately, it's only going to get harsher from here. And if Regina can handle it. Acker wrote this note to Regina?
Objection!
Foolishly foolish fool with foolishly foolish fool ideas of foolish tomfoolery. You're so foolish you've ever made me sound like a foolhardy fool. Very well, Mr. Phoenix Wright. If you're so sure, then tell us about this line. I have conclusive evidence of what took place. Yes, what about that line? Well, if the note was meant for Regina Berry, it would have meant that this note is declaring that Regina Berry is a murderer. You just don't get it, do you? What did you just say? The ringmaster knew that what the note meant, which is why he went to the plaza, in place of his lovely daughter. Well, hold it right there, Mr. Wright. What is this incident that is alluded to in the note? The incident 6 months ago. An incident occurred 6 months ago, and now I am more than ready to show this court what happened at that time. More than? Wait, are you sure that it relates to the present case? It does indeed, Your Honor. Everything in this case has its start in what happened 6 months ago. Really, Nick? I think so. And then, if that's the case, hurry up and tell us about it. What is this conclusive evidence mentioned in the note? I know I'd certainly like to know what it is. I can't answer that question, the judge is going to think I'm bluffing. The conclusive evidence about the incident 6 months ago is actually...
Take that!
Achoo! 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 What kind of spicy joke is this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? It isn't a joke at all. It's the decisive evidence you asked for. What do you mean? Recall that the victim was trying to take the wooden box away from him. He was doing so because this piece of decisive evidence is what was inside. Another unbelievable conclusion. Very well, Mr. Wright, so what exactly are you saying? Are you claiming that Regina Berry killed someone with a small bottle of pepper? Taking the note into account, that's the only logical conclusion you can draw.
Objection!
Foolish fool who never tires of his own foolish ways. If you're so sure, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then answer this question. Who was Regina Berry's intended victim? Bat.
Take that!
Who is this? That is Acker's younger brother.
Objection!
What does this prove? His younger brother isn't dead. Technically, that's true. However, Bat has been in a coma for 6 months now. It's not a stretch to see how Acker could feel that his brother is dead. Regina, she did that to him? You spent your entire life dreaming up new ways to be a fool. Naturally, the prosecution has looked into Acker's brother, Sean Dingling. 6 months ago, he was bit by a lion and fell into his current comatose state. A lion? Miss Regina Berry is an animal tamer by trade. However, no tamed animal in that position is ever trained to attack another human. They wouldn't understand the command. Moreover, Miss Regina could never do something like that. It's just not in her. So then what happened to Acker's brother? He's not the victim of an attempted murder. He's the victim of an accident. I see. Now what do we do? No one seems to be going along with your theory. Do you think what happened to Bat was actually an accident? I suppose it was truly an accident. It's essential that a man knows when to give up, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Impossible to prove Miss Berry's involvement in the murder attempt, isn't it? Instigating a lion to attack? Who ever heard of something like that? And to think that the defense claimed this was conclusive evidence. A small bottle of pepper. A lion? What's that connection? Ah! What's the matter, Nick? I figured it out. Wow, it was right in front of my nose the entire time. Your Honor, wait. What is it? The lion biting Bat was no accident at all. What? Yes,
such an amateur, Mr. Phoenix, right? There's no way that Regina would ever incite her lion to attack another human being. She may not have incited the lion to attack another human being. But Regina is responsible for making the lion bite Acro's brother back. And this is proof of it.
Take that!
That's just a scarf. Acro. This scarf is something that Bat used to wear, correct? That's right. And who is the one that gave this scarf to Bat? Regina. Regina gave it to him. Regina? There's something more than just blood on the scarf, Your Honor. And what might that be? Pepper. Pepper? Pepper. Regina gave the scarf to Bat right before the accident. And she covered it with as much pepper as she could. Whoops. Hey, what's with the silent treatment? Excuse me, Mr. Wright. You've done a good job of figuring a criminal. But out of curiosity, what was her crime? Miss Berry gave a covered scarf to Bat as a present. Where's the crime in that? Still seems like the judge just doesn't get it. Mr. Phoenix, right? Wasn't it said that the lion seemed to be smiling? Smiling? The lion was smiling? Right before Bat was bit by the lion. For a moment, the lion's mouth changed and it looked like he was smiling. Lions smile? I've never heard of them smiling, however. Lion sneeze. Leon wasn't trying to bite Bat at all. In reality, all he actually did was sneeze. And that's why he bit down on Bat. He sneezed because of all the pepper on the scarf. What? You fool! You've got to be kidding me!
Objection!
What's the matter, Miss Fontama? I object for objection's sake. Mr. Phoenix, right? You believe it? You really intend to say that this is how this joke of an accident actually happened? Of course I do. It's the truth. The lion sneezed due to the pepper, and that's when Bat lost consciousness. Acro nearly lost his brother due to this accident, or this joke, as he put it. Which is why he tried to get his revenge against Regina. You foolish idiots. It almost does seem like a terrible joke. Doesn't it? What is that supposed to mean? Once again, I'm impressed by your imagination, Mr. Wright. To think that there's someone who treats this accident with the respect it deserves. Are you telling me that what I said was true? Acro? You can't mean witness. Are you confirming the defense's claim? Mr. Wright, unfortunately, your imagination is not enough to find me guilty of murder. What do you mean by that? The pepper, the scarf, the lion. I see where you're going, but it's a bit hard to swallow. Not to mention the fact that there's an even bigger problem with your theory. What would that problem be? The same problem it's always been, evidence. If I drop Max's bust on top of the ringmaster, where is the evidence that proves that claim? You mean a conclusive evidence? The biggest problem is the meta weapon, or the lack thereof to be more precise. The meta weapon. The bust that the defense claim was used. If that were to be found in Acro's room, and if it was covered with the victim's blood, that would be awfully conclusive in my eyes. Yes, it would be. The bust. Nick, you gotta do something. This is the last step. If I get this one right, the case is won. It might be worthwhile to search Acro's room, but why aren't you going to search his room? Looks like you finally figured things out, didn't you? Now you know the true meaning of Uncomm's total justice. I guess. I figured with you, that's the least I should expect. You'd leave no stone unturned. Of Von Karma never leaves anything to chance. We already searched Acro's room yesterday. What did you find? There's no reason to even say it. If we found what you think we found in that room, Acro would not be here as a witness. But to put a point on it, Max's bus was not in your room. The murder weapon is still unaccounted for. You see, Mr. Wright? The bus wasn't in my room. Furthermore, Detective Dictum 2 executed the search by complete surprise, and we took Acro directly to the prosecutor's office after that. End of story. Just wait a second. Something's funny about all this. It looks like you lack the final nail to put into my coffin. But, what about the scarf? What about the note? What about them, Mr. Wright? No offense, but the only evidence that is relevant here, is which pertains to the death of the ringmaster. You should know that by now. The bust, yep. Do something, Nick. Don't let this case slip away. The bust, where is it now? Where's the bust right now? You're Phoenix Wright. You know where that bust is. I'm sure you do. Not even a single clue. How am I supposed to know where the bust is? Seems this case is coming to a close. The defense counter-arguments look to have fallen short. Thank you for your support. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I think that brings to an end to the cross-examination of this witness. Where is Max's bust? The defense needs time to prepare to present its case. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous and I just bit my tongue. Oh? What? We need time to do what? Ow! Why are you the most surprised person here? She's your aide, isn't she? Do you really have a case to present, Mr. Wright? But what? Are you asking me? This is up to you, Nick. Good luck. Wait! You can't be serious. Acrobats always have their lives on the line, don't they? That's how Acro's lived his life up until now. Now it's time for us to walk across our own tightrope. If we don't, we're certain to lose. Very well. The defense may proceed. He doesn't have a clue. I don't think he'll be finding one anytime soon. Walking the tightrope with logic, there's no room for a false step. Sink or swim. The only way through is forward. The murder weapon. Where is Max's bust now? I don't think so. They would have searched the area, and someone would have found it. I think it's in the courtroom. It's obvious. The bus is inside this very courtroom. It's obviously where? Let me to pinpoint the location of the bus once and for all. Acro. I'm sorry to ask this, but do you mind if I take the blanket off your wheelchair? I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you, Mr. Wright. Well, you are a big guy, and you have a pretty big wheelchair because of it. I just wanted to make sure you weren't hiding anything under that blanket. Because it seems to me that it would be really easy to say, hide a bust under there? Once again, your penchant for humor hits me where it hurts, Mr. Wright. I think it's pretty amazing that you can laugh in your position. However, your lightheartedness doesn't change the fact that the bus is under there. We all know that you can't leave the lodging house by yourself in your condition. That proved inconvenient when Miss Von Karma happened to search your room yesterday. If she had found a murder weapon in your room, it would have been all over. Which is why you had to hide it, in the only place that you could hide it, under your wheelchair. Which is why, Acro, I have to ask you again. Would you please remove the blanket from your lap? Well done, Mr. Wright. Mercifully played. I got it right. You fool! How could you? You got me. I've been bagged by a real pro. Actually, 2 of them. 2 of them? Miss Francisco Von Karma and Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? There's just one thing I'd like to know. How did you know to launch a surprise search in my room last night? There were 2 pieces of decisive evidence. The cloak and the bust. I burned the cloak in my room and threw the ashes away with the trash. Gina always took my trash out every morning, you know. But the bust, obviously I couldn't throw that away. When you executed your search, all I could do was try and hide the bust. The only place that I could hide it quickly was under the wheelchair. Miss Von Karma, you had things all figured out, didn't you? I was completely sucked in by your calculated strategy. And now to be caught in the middle of court hiding the murder weapon. There's no way I can escape that. So you got me. Well done, Mr. Wright. Well done, Miss Von Karma. It all makes sense now. I can't believe that Von Karma thought that far ahead. It's amazing. Definitely couldn't tell by looking at her. No, I sure couldn't. I can't believe it. Me, make a mistake. Why did I order a surprise search of your room? If only I hadn't done that. It seems we finally arrived at the truth. Acro? Yes, Your Honor. Did you kill the ringmaster of the Berry Big Circus, Mr. Russell Berry? Yes, Your Honor. I'm responsible for that crime. Acro. All my brother wanted was for Regina to like him. That's why he teased her. One day, my brother sprinkled some pepper on Regina. She started sneezing so hard, you couldn't help yourself from laughing. That's why Regina thought it'd be funny to get him back in the same way. And that's why she covered the scalp with pepper. I know she didn't mean for anything bad to happen. I know this. She just wanted to make my brother sneeze a few times too. But I just couldn't forgive her, no matter what. What am I truly guilty of? I'm guilty of never ever being able to understand her. My brother became a star. Regina believes in that so purely that she would laugh innocently when saying it. Too innocently. I just couldn't stand it, no matter how hard I tried. That's when he decided to do something about Regina. How dreadful. So are you saying you're a victim in all of this as well? No, that's not what I mean. Oh. I'm nothing but a murderer. That's who I am. At first, I thought I'd kill myself, then I pondered giving myself up. Oh, jeez. But I couldn't just up and leave. I just couldn't, not yet. That's why I tried to pin this on Max. Max, I'm so sorry. Well, at least he is sorry. I just couldn't up and leave yet. Damn. Well, at least he's sorry for what he did. At least he's remorseful. This has been such a strange case. It's almost a reflection of the circus itself. I'm an idiot! Yes, you are, Francisco. I can't believe it. You beat me again. I believe this case is now beyond any point of possible discussion. Thus, I'd like to declare my verdict. Woo! Although I don't like my client, I won. Yay! This court is adjourned. Woo! Fabulous! But to be honest, I can't really be too happy about this. Acro, the ringmaster, Regina, and Pat. Not a single one of them was a bad person inside, huh? That's a good question, and one I don't know the answer to. Hey, congrats, but only at max. 1 million of them. Thank you. What's with the vibe in this room? I'm just thinking about Acro. No. If you worry about people too much, then you'll be like this forever and never be happy. Huh? Oh. It's been like this for a while now. It's all my fault. Acro, they're never coming back. Now everyone's gonna split up. Regina. Mr. Wright, tell me something. What do you want to know, Regina? Acro said something right at the end. I just couldn't up and leave yet. Does that mean that Acro is gonna try and get his revenge on me? I don't think so. He's not gonna do that to you, Regina. Are you sure? You're really sure? I can believe that? Yep. Acro doesn't have any desire for revenge anymore. If that's true, then I want to see some evidence. Huh? Well, I know you're not just gonna make up stuff about Acro not wanting revenge. Bat right.
Take that!
Acro didn't want to get caught for a reason. He wanted to see his brother open his eyes again. But Bet? That's right, Regina. He's still alive, you know. I never knew. But now that Acro's been caught. I know. What? I'll do it. I'll stay next to Beck as long as it takes. Until he opens his eyes. And then until he can meet Acro again. That's so sweet of you, Regina. I'm sorry, Acro. I'm sorry, Bat. Well, hopefully this is enough to give her a little peace of mind. Hey, Max. What is it, Mo? We really put you through a lot, didn't we, buddy? I'm sorry about what happened. So whenever you'd like to leave us, I'll pay your fee and rip up the contract. I understand. What if I have this thing to do for me? I might even leave tomorrow. What's going to happen to the circus now? That's the big question. Our ringmaster was really an amazing person, wasn't he? Even though he's not here anymore, everyone is sticking together. The staff, the performers, no one wants to leave the circus. That's why I've made a decision. What is it? I decided I will take over as the new ringmaster. I'll turn the circus into the best circus this world has ever seen. The best circus the world has ever seen? Don't laugh. That's quite the goal. Hey, I can't wait. And I guess that changes things. Huh? There's only one thing the best circus the world has ever seen needs. The world's best illusions. Which means this circus needs the best magician the world has ever seen. Max. Let's work together and make our circus super fabulous! What do you say, big guy? I don't know what to say. All I can say is thank you. Regina, you're gonna help them out too, aren't you? I don't know. Maybe the circus would be better off without me. What are you talking about, Regina? Why do you think that I brought you to court today? We got to work together to make the very big circus bigger than it's ever been. No. That's right. We can't be a very big circus without Regina Burr. Max. Nick. Seems like everything is going to turn out alright here. Can't wait to go see the best circus the world has ever seen. We'll save you the most fabulous seats. It'll take us a while to get ready, but I'm going to order special whoopee cushion seats. You do that. I see. What made the case? This is a surprise raid. Really paid off just like you said it would, sir. Wait, who's he talking to? You had it all figured out, didn't you? It was just a theory. If Acro really was the killer, I thought this was the only way it could end. Especially if he was the defense attorney. You mean Mr. Wright? Of course. Well, detective, my plane is about to leave. As for Mr. Acro Chase, you need not worry. I plan to personally stop by the Chief Prosecutor's office as soon as I get back. Understood, sir. I'll be waiting for you, Mr. Edgeworth. No way! Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. That ending was incredible. I couldn't believe that.
But yeah, we're up to the final episode of Justice for All, and we're going to be starting that next week. So in the meantime, if you guys like this video, please sure to give it a like and subscribe so you can see more videos like this in the future. Until then, take care and goodbye.